Dylan's gonna leave soon, so I guess you could maybe just give the plot synopsis of What's Eating Gilbert Grape, our Patreon movie this week, the 1993 film What's Eating Gilbert Grape, as requested by Hunter on Patreon. Thank you, appreciate it. Dylan, you want to describe this film?
Sure thing. So What's Eating Gilbert Grape is a story about Gilbert, and he's taking care of his, mentally handicapped little brother, and all that his mom ever wants is him to make it to his 18th birthday. So he following around, shenanigans happen, he's having an affair with some, insurance dude's wife. This new girl rolls into town. He ends up wanting to impress her, go out with her. He wants to leave because he's sick and tired of being stuck in his family's house. Family stuff happens, family drama happens. Everybody makes fun of his mom until finally, she's like, oh, you've always been my knight in shimmering armor or whatever. And then she fucking dies or something. And instead of having the town make fun of her after she dies, they burn the house down and they all go on to live their lives because they're not being held back by their mother anymore or something.
Fun fact, when Leonardo DiCaprio showed up to the film's premiere, people were shocked he wasn't actually retarded.
Dude, he played it so well in this movie, and I was shocked to see fucking Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio in the same movie. It was quite a sight to behold. Also, that other guy who plays that one guy in Step Brothers, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, truly a star-studded cast.
Yeah, oddly
enough. As
always. I thought this was a very touching movie.
I don't have a ton to say about this movie. I'm usually not a fan of these kinds of movies. What do you mean
by these kinds of movies?
Like things that aren't very plot-driven. I guess I'm not really a fan of character-driven movies, actually. Notoriously Napoleon Dynamite, I just fucking despise. But I like this movie more. It might just be the setting, I guess. I like our characters. I think it's a much more compelling personal conflict where Gilbert is this guy where he's like, I want to be a good person. I know what I need to do to be a good person, but fuck, this shit sucks. So yeah, despite me typically not being a fan of these sorts of movies, I actually liked this one a decent amount, but not a ton.
Okay.
I also like this movie. I don't think it's super ambitious from a production standpoint, but it is a character piece, and I think the character piece was very well done. Literally just in retrospect for the rest of the movie, when the mom was talking about her husband and how he acted prior to killing himself, and then comparing that to how Gilbert was acting, really recontextualized a lot of the movie. Honestly, I was kind of under the assumption that he wasn't doing great mentally, but it really does make you just feel he really was just on the edge this entire time. I think everything was very well acted. Obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio did a really good job of portraying fucking Arnie as a mentally handicapped kid. The whole situation seems very grounded as well, which I can appreciate a lot. This really does just seem like a slice of what could be somebody's life potentially.
Yeah, especially how getting pussy fixed all his problems.
Right.
He was getting pussy, though. He didn't want that shit, though. He was getting
damn, you're right.
Yeah.
Getting the right pussy. You know what? It is a good lesson.
Yeah, I think a lot of the comedy in this movie actually landed pretty well for me, too. It was just an enjoyable romp, I enjoyed this one.
Do you guys think that she drowned her husband?
That's a good one. It is kind of interesting that there was a plot point, but it didn't really amount to much, unless I'm missing some metaphorical connection they're trying to draw with that. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I trust the.
Okay.
Even though
interesting that you trust a cheater.
Yeah, a cheater that's abusing a fucking teenager.
Yeah. I just feel really bad for Gilbert and his sisters. This is a fucked up situation that they have to be in. And really, for me, the hardest obstacle to really get into this movie for me is the mom. They want me to like her. They want her to be this really sympathetic character, but I just feel nothing about her whatsoever. Well, nothing is the wrong word. I feel anger towards her. I fucking hate her, in fact. Because she's talking to Gilbert. It's I don't want to be a burden and stuff. You're not a burden, Mom. But she is just a fucking burden to this family. Yeah, it sucks that her husband died. That's tragic. That's awful. But it doesn't excuse her actions of just pushing all of her responsibilities onto her children, okay? Even if you're hurting and things are terrible, you're still under the obligation to not make the situation worse.
I don't feel like they're trying to portray her as not a burden, though. I feel like the entire movie is her being a burden, and Gilbert realizes she's a burden. She contributes a lot to the decline of his mental health and how bad his situation, and he realizes that he's not going to be mean about it because he's sympathetic towards, his fucking mom. But I don't feel like they're trying to like paint her as a good person. I do like how they tried to, there's like even like the counterpoint of her doing the good thing and try to improve her situation after she kind of connects Gilbert with her father there at the end, and then tries to walk up the stairs. Unfortunately, she fucking dies, but she was making steps towards improving her situation.
Unfortunately,
that I will say that ending feels weird. Like, I don't know, morals wise, it's like, oh, she took the first step towards wanting to get better, and then they immediately kill her. What are we supposed to be walking away from that with?
I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to maybe find a way of kind of freeing Gilbert from his situation. The mom was the one that was kind of keeping everything all together, and with her passing, he was kind of free to just do whatever he wanted by his side because everyone did their own thing, and they didn't have to look after her anymore or the house. It wasn't like it's like a big burden. I don't know. I feel like it was relatively natural too. That was the first time she's probably exerted herself in a very long time, and she is incredibly obese. I could understand her heart just straight up stopping because of that. I think it's realistic. It does seem a little forced, but I'm not that opposed to it.
Yeah, I fucking hate this phrase, but this movie kind of seems like it's about generational trauma. Because obviously the mom got fucked up by the husband killing himself. And because of that, she fucked herself up, which then fucked her kids up. Also, I'm now realizing, like, how much a metaphor the house is. Because the dad, like, built the house in much the same way he built the family. But he didn't know what he was doing when he built the house. And so we have the John C. Reilly character constantly being like, what the fuck was your father doing here? This is not how you build shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that little metaphor there and whatnot.
And now the home is breaking because they have a broken home. It's
Oh
just
my
like
God.
Encanto. This film is a masterpiece, actually.
It's just like hey, hold on a sec. Encanto is just What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but with Mexicans.
Yeah, it's a modern retelling of this classic.
I thought they're from like Ecuador or something. I don't think they are Mexican.
Who gives a fuck?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all the same across the border. Let's go. Yeah, I like the scene, especially I like scenes that make me really feel stuff in the moment. I get like emotionally attached and stuff like that. And that scene where he was trying to bathe Arnie and he just couldn't, hold himself back from hitting him. I get that shit. Just gets so overwhelmed with so much stuff building up over time. Especially this is the character that I was constantly talking about. Like, nobody hits him, nobody hurts him. You just can't fucking do that. I don't know. That scene, I definitely, my fucking heart sank when he did that. My whole body was like, okay, yeah, he really shouldn't have done that. And then him immediately just running away, parking his car at night, and just thinking about stuff. That shit was so fucking real. Honestly, my, least favorite part of the movie was kind of just, the other girl that he was hitting on. She's kind of weird. I do like how she was the one that kind of made him realize that he's not alone in the struggle to handle Arnie, I guess, when she got him to jump into the water. But I don't know, she was kind of a weird character to me. Their relationship didn't seem supernatural, but maybe that's just because the times are different, and that's just that's just how fucking things work nowadays.
Listen, they were both in the same town. They're relatively the same age. It's a town of
12 people.
30 people or some shit. That's just how it is.
Yeah. It's a different time, it's a different area of the state, so whatever, but, it all felt very strange.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that they didn't say What's Eating Gilbert Grape once.
I'm bummed that they didn't say it 5 times. Well, I guess, boys, we want to move on to the ratings here now.
Sure.
Cool.
Well, Dylan gave this movie a B+. I'm going to be following it up with an A-, slightly better.
And I'm going to be going slightly worse than Dylan at a B-.
Fuck. I'm in between a B and a B+. I'll be nice, I'll give it a B+.
And that landed at a B+.
Holy shit.
That's some fucking groundbreaking shit. So wait, Nico, you gave it a B-.
Yeah.
What was the mom really the thing that drug it down for you? What else was
Yeah, the mom was a major she was a major detriment to this film for me.
He is just that prejudiced against fat people, dude.
Yeah. What would you have given if the mom was, like, I guess, portrayed in a way to your liking? How much is she dragging the movie down? Like, is the movie, like, almost a fucking average C-tier movie because it's, like...
What if she was a alcoholic instead of obese?
I mean, yeah, that wouldn't have really changed my perception of her that much. Like, that still very much so feels like it was her making, you know? Like, if she got fucking paralyzed or something, that's very much so a different story. Like, the fact that it's self-induced really drags it down for me a lot. I mean, I don't think I would have given it, like, particularly higher. Like, if the mom did have some sort of disability that was more... That was something I could be more sympathetic towards. Because I just don't feel that close to any of these characters particularly, so I like the highest I probably would have given it would be like maybe a B+.
Bro's never been depressed and it shows.
Once we watch Encanto, we're gonna treat the differences between these as the obese factor for Nico.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the fucking loner dude that lives in the walls is
the fatty factor.
Yeah.